Hello and welcome to Metal Vice, a podcast where we talk about all things music.
Well, the things we care about.
That's right, which is mainly metal music and live music. I'm your host, Brian, joined with the other host,
Karen.
And Karen, what are we talking about for this episode?
We're going to talk about Dance with the Dead at Subterranean here in Chicago.
Yeah, we saw this show November 17th here in Chicago, as you said. Their opening act, they only had one act. It was Korine, Korine,
Yeah.
Korine. They said it a few times.
They did. I just can't remember what they said.
I can't either.
Korine, maybe? I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know.
Let's just stick with Korine.
Yeah, we'll do Korine. There we go.
For the whole episode.
Ticket prices for this were $25 with $8.14 in fees. And I just said at Subterranean. This was our second show at Subterranean. Yep. Our first one was Dying Wish, like an all hardcore show. This definitely a little different than that.
A little bit different,
yeah. This was also a lot more packed than the show we saw.
Yep. Yeah.
And the main thing I can think about is that was a two-night thing with Dying Wish. And we got the second night. So a lot of people probably went to the first night, which I think sold out. It did sell out, yeah, because we couldn't get tickets to that.
Yeah.
So maybe not everybody came back again for the second night. Not everybody did, clearly.
You're right, yeah.
So that could be why it wasn't nearly as packed, but this was definitely a lot more crowded than that Dying Wish show we saw.
Yeah.
The other sort of main difference as well was that the Dying Wish show had like the house lights up, I think almost all night long. I can't remember 100%, but I think they were.
So did.
It was dark.
No, was
almost the entire night. I thought it was dark.
The chandelier was on, the lights on the sides were on, everything was on.
But the backstage wasn't. The stage itself wasn't lit. That was really dark all night long.
Oh, I guess I can't remember the two of them, but
because I remember for Dying Wish, I noticed the band came down the spiral staircase in the back of the stage. I didn't even see the spiral staircase because the stage was so dark this time around.
No, okay. Like, I guess I don't remember the lights being on behind the stage.
It just felt a lot darker this time around for me. I thought it like I said, it just felt darker.
Okay. No, I thought you meant, because that was something that I don't think we talked about during the Dying Wish show, but it was something that kind of bugged me, that like the chandelier was on, the lights on the side were on. Yeah. It's like, it's very bright. And it was very bright this whole time too.
See, I didn't feel like it was. I felt like it was so dark.
I felt like it was because the lights were on.
It has been a few weeks since we've seen this. So who knows who's right, which, I mean, it's me, but yeah. Anywho, getting to the first band, Korine. Is that what we said we were going to call them?
Korine?
Korine? Yeah, Korine. All right. Why don't you read off their set list for us? And this isn't from our show. This is from Setlist FM from Brooklyn. This is the show that had both bands listed.
Yeah. I think it's probably about the same from the number of songs. So Korine started with Mount Airy, Fate, Cruel, Sunshine, Screamin' in the Night, Lost in the Dark, Burn the World, Train to Harlem, and they ended with Elegance in You. What did you think about Korine? That's what I want to know first.
Okay, so this is definitely not metal. It's an 80s, to me it was a definitely like 80s synth pop sort of sound.
Oh, synth pop makes sense, because I was like trying to figure out what they might be.
It reminded me a lot of the Gary Newman show I saw with Ministry earlier this year.
Oh,
you
okay.
didn't go to that because you were traveling for work.
Ireland, right?
I think so.
Yeah.
And I remember watching that show and being like, I kind of really fucking dig this. This is so fucking weird. And then I listened to him when I got home, like the next day, and it didn't sound as heavy or hard or aggressive on the recording. The live show felt more heavier and aggressive than the recorded does. But this sound took me instantly back to like the 80s and sort of synth pop and everything. And honestly, I really enjoyed it. I thought it was a lot of fun. It's definitely unique and different.
It was unique and different.
I felt like the crowd, for the most part, was into it up until about 2/3. Then it seemed like people started getting bored and just having their own little side conversations and whatnot. Yeah. The chatter sort of definitely picked up there. But I think at the beginning, people are like super into it, like, all right, this is cool. I can give this a shot, and they seem to enjoy it.
Yeah, it does have like a dance type sound to it, so people were kind of moving a little bit, or that sort of thing. There was a couple people near the middle front area, because I mean Subterranean is pretty small, but like middle front, that were really into it. Like they probably were there to see them. But yeah.
Yeah, and you did say small. This capacity, I think, is 99 people in this
club.
Yeah,
99 or 96 or something, yeah.
Something like that. I took a photo. It's got to be somewhere, but I think it's, somewhere around that, like, high 90s for sure. not triple digits
No.
by any means.
No.
But no, I thought it was fun. It was a cool, unique mix. Like, just I'll put it on from time to time. It's not something I'm gonna like seek out all the time, but it's something for a good like change of pace.
It would be interesting to hear the recorded version because there was a. Did they both have a guitar?
See, I'm trying to remember. There was definitely one guitar. And
I think at points
one
they
keyboard.
both had guitars at one point.
I think maybe not.
Okay, I can't really remember, but I know that there was at least one guitar, and I could not hear guitar bits at all.
I think that was like heavy synthesized for sure. I could hear guitar bits as well, but yeah, again, it's not you're gonna be like your high pitched or your metal guitar by any means, right?
Yeah.
So
I was just kind of disappointed with that. I'm like, this is all just recorded music that you guys have done before that now you're singing to.
I don't think so. I don't feel like it. I feel like they were actually playing the instruments and singing live there on stage.
No, I think they were, but like the music that you could hear was the recorded music.
Oh, I see what you're saying.
Like you couldn't hear
like
the guitar. Yeah.
Thing. I don't know. I could hear the guitar some. And again, the recorded aspect, like the synth aspect of it, I think they were up there actually playing like a keyboard to like get some of the sound out as well. They think there were some backing elements as well. I can't remember if they had like a drum track because there was no drummer. I think it was just the two of them. So there was definitely that as well. I don't know. Yeah.
I wasn't into it.
I get what you're saying. I definitely felt like you weren't going to be into it when you heard it.
No, it wasn't my thing. But it's fine. It's cool. It kind of, the recorded, the recorded part of it kind of goes with Dance with the Dead. So it kind of makes sense what they were trying to do where it's like, these two types of music might go together for like a crowd that likes recorded. I'm not gonna say EDM music, but like recorded music.
Yeah.
So,
no, there were a lot looking around at the crowd. There were a lot of people in metal shirts. I saw a lot of different metal shirts on, which was really cool. And to see them like get into it a little bit was really, really kind of made me smile and think like, all right, cool. Yeah. Metalheads definitely do like to branch out and at least try different things. And like I said, it seemed like the crowd were super fucking into it at the beginning and to the middle. But then after that, it's like, all right, I've had my 20 minutes of this. I'm kind of done. Let's move on to the next thing type thing.
Do you know who wasn't into it?
You?
No. Well, I wasn't, but the sound engineer was not into it.
Really?
Do you know why?
Why is that?
Because he was texting the whole time. And then they said, we have 2 songs left. After they played one song, he turns the music or like the house music on.
We have one more song left. He turns the house music on.
Yes. And then everybody's like, we have one more song. They have one more song. Like one more song.
The whole crowd was like, they have one more song.
But the whole time I'm like noticing that he's like texting and like stuff like that. And then like all of a sudden he just turns the house music on. And it's like,
oh, that's funny.
Yeah.
Because we stood right next to the sound booth, the front of house, and he was laying on the ground under the table that all the gear's on, just with his legs kicked up on his phone, just scrolling through the internet and whatnot.
Yeah.
But there's another little funny bit with Dance with the Dead with him as well that I guess we can get into.
Oh, maybe I
now.
forgot about that. Or I don't know what you're going to say, but
I guess, let's get into Dance with the Dead real quick.
Yeah.
So why don't you read off their set list for us? Again, from the Brooklyn show.
They start with Go, Sledge, Wolfpack, The Man Who Made a Monster, Scar, Neon Cross, Riot, Into the Shadows, Hex, Cold as Hell, Whim of Doom, I Want Blood, Master of Puppets, a Metallica cover, and A New Year. So before we really go into Dance with the Dead, what are they?
So Dance with the Dead, so we saw them first. Do you remember when we saw them first?
Yes.
When was it?
With Avatar and fucking Devin.
And 68.
And 68, yes. It was a very different show because like 68's a 2-piece rock band.
Old school rock sound. Kind of punky a little bit.
Yeah, punky. Definitely some punk elements. And then Dance with the Dead is a 2-piece EDM metal type band.
They have drum. They both have guitars they play every now and then. Plus, the EDM stuff as well. And when we saw them, it was just the two of them.
Yep.
And they'd switch off who played guitars and who went over to do like the EDM sort of mixing and whatnot.
Yeah. And then Devin Townsend was there and he did an acoustic set.
Yep.
And then it was Avatar.
Which you fucking hated so much.
Yeah, Devin.
I did not enjoy it either.
Okay, Devin Townsend's going to be at Milwaukee Metal Fest.
Yes.
Playing a normal set.
Yes.
So I'm interested in seeing what it is like.
And I honestly haven't checked out any of his other music, actually. But from what I've gathered based on other articles and other people talking about him. The dude's kind of sort of a fucking legend, I think, in terms of the metal like scene. Like he's been around forever in multiple metal bands.
Probably.
He
probably has a good sound.
I don't know what sound it is. I don't know what it is, but his acoustic set was just so vastly different, and we didn't know anything about him, so we went in like, what the fuck is this? It's not good. And there were people there fucking berating him.
Yeah,
and,
like, get off the fucking stage.
And then there were people there who were like, we fucking love you. Yeah, keep playing. Like, this is awesome. This is the best thing ever. And for those people who are deep, deep fans of him, going out and doing this sort of acoustic one-off set, we say that all the time. Going to these sort of symphony bands. We saw Metallica SM2. I saw Bobby Weir with the symphony. We saw the Godsmack Vibes tour where they did more acoustic stuff. The Wage War All That Remains acoustic. Yeah. Was that who they were with? All That Remains? As They Lay Dying? A Day to Remember was the band. But those, like, that was an acoustic set. Like, so those one-off, unique sort of sets we love. Yeah. Because you don't get to see them, and it's a new way to experience the music and the artist, right? Yeah. So I get why those fans were so fucking thrilled to see him. Yeah, like because
it is different and stuff like that. But, but that is when we first saw Dance with the Dead. And during that show, it, like you said, it was just the two of them. They switched on and off their, like, persona on stage, or, like, they kind of just stand in one spot, but they have so much energy in that one spot. Like, that's what really got me into them. And then at that show, they also, I don't even know what song it was, but because I haven't been able to find it since, I don't know if it was just a recording for that tour or what, but they had a song that started with the Haunted Mansion stretching room. That was like, this is a room with no windows and no doors. Did they do that during this show? No, they did not.
They didn't? Are you sure?
I'm positive.
Okay.
Yes. So, and I've like went through their Spotify and like tried to like find what song that might be, and I can't find it.
See, that's more the EDM aspect, where you throw something in the beginning that then melds into the song you're playing. Yeah,
but hearing that, like, because at the time I was like, okay, this has beat, this, you know, like, this is okay, but it's not. And definitely, when was that? 2020 or 2017?
When what?
That show.
Oh, 2022. Wait, no, that was.
No, it was 2017.
We actually got the poster for that. Let me go take a look. They're Avatar's first ever world tour. I think that was 2019. So yeah, taking a look at the poster we have from that show, it was 2019 in May. Yeah.
But anyways, during that time I had such a closed mind about music, and I was like, I only want to hear, like, I was there for Avatar and only Avatar. Yeah. So it was like, I don't want to hear any of this shit. And then hearing Dance with the Dead start playing and having that, you know, kind of the beat and stuff like that. I was like, okay, I'm into this. You had been to some EDM shows with some friends. I always made fun of you because I'm like, why the fuck are you going to EDM shows? But like, I could kind of understand it in a little tiny bit. But then once they played that song and had the Haunted Mansion with it, I was like, holy fuck, I like them. Okay. So that's, and then also the selling point for you. Also the one guy's little piece of hair.
Oh yeah.
Because there's one guy that has just like a little bit of hair, and then when he like headbangs, it like just flops around. And then the other guy has a beard. Yep. Which we did not say at this show.
Somebody did come up to me and they're like, "Are you in the band?"
Yes.
And I was like, no. He's like, "You look just like him. Are you sure?" He's like, I'm sure I'm not in the band. Which is weird because I did the same thing after the Bastard Dan Odo show. Yeah. To the guy with We Weren't Invited. Like, hey, great set, man. And he's like, no, that wasn't me. When we saw them again, another side conversation here. When we saw them again at Bottom Lounge.
Yes, the Bottom Lounge. Yeah.
Bottom Lounge. Yeah, that's the bar, right? Yeah, Bottom Lounge. They played as well, and that same guy was there. He must be friends with like the lead singer or something, but they do look very similar.
Yeah, because We're Not Invited is a Chicago band. Yeah. But anyways, so I thought that was funny that you were like, you're a doppelganger now.
Yeah.
But it was funny how he asked too, because he like comes up, he's like, hey, sorry to bother you, but are you in the band? Yeah. You're just like, no. Anyways,
but back to that show, it was really interesting because I really enjoyed Dance with the Dead right then, and we went back after the show and bought merch and bought not a shirt but bought the album from them.
Yeah, we do have it. Yeah.
And the guy with the beard, the member of the band with the beard, was there, and he handed it to me. He's like, "Oh, thanks so much for buying this." And as I was walking out, I was like, "Wait, I think he was in the band. Fuck, I could have asked him to sign this for me." Yeah. I bet they were both back there. God damn it, I didn't think about this. Whatever. But I really liked it, and I was shocked that you told me afterwards that you enjoyed it as well.
Yeah,
Because
yeah.
it is that very EDM focused sort of sound
Yeah.
to it, but they do play guitars as well.
Yeah, and
live
they have the
on
metal,
stage.
and it has like the metal sound to it. So
And there are other EDM acts out there that use instruments and play them live. They don't all just get up there and have a pre-recorded set, as you say, right? Um, so that's cool. I do really enjoy that. There's not as many as you would think, but there are some out there that do shit like that. Mainly, it's a drum kit that they're playing, not guitars. Um, but yeah, I don't know. It was really cool to see that you really enjoyed it. And when they came around for this show, I was like, I really want to see them. And I don't know if Karen's gonna. She said she liked it. I don't know. This is a few years later if she would still want to go. And sure enough, you wanted to go, and
Yeah.
we went to check it out. So,
Yeah.
but the lead into this whole transition from Korine to Dance with the Dead was talking about the sound engineer
oh yes,
and sort
yep.
of his lackluster enthusiasm for the
Yeah.
show.
He was just there until he had to leave.
He was getting his paycheck.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Which is we've all had those days, so it's
exactly.
fine. Yeah.
But Dance with the Dead's up there getting their stage set up, getting their sound check done, and there's a guy up there with an iPad. And he sort of turns the light on and flashes it back to the sound booth front of house. And typically when you see that, or when I've noticed it, it's sort of, hey, we're done. We're ready to start the show. Let's turn the house music down. Let's get the lights dimmed and all that sort of thing, right? Let's get ready. Start the intro music, all that fun stuff. So he did that, looked around, did it again, nothing. I think he did it like a third time or something. And then a second or third time is when I look over at the sound booth and there's nobody in the sound booth. And I was like, oh shit, maybe he needs to test something still. So then he gets off the stage and walks from the front of the house, from the front of the stage all the way to the back where the sound booth is, where we are.
All the way back. It's like
It's midway through, yeah,
it's
on
like
the side.
the length of our room.
But he works his way back, gets in the sound booth, and he starts like fidgeting with stuff. And then as soon as he gets in, I see the guy, the first sound engineer, walk back with a glass of water. So he had just left to go to the bathroom and grab a glass of water, thinking that he still had time. Because honestly, they had the times listed. It was 5 minutes before they were even supposed to schedule to start.
Okay. I didn't notice the times that night.
And then the intro track comes in. The crowd starts cheering. And I just kind of smiled to myself, like, he was still testing, like, that he needed him to test him. That's why he has the iPad he's like fidgeting with. He wasn't back there, so the guy on the stage came back to do it himself. And he's even asking the sound engineer as soon as he gets back there, like, hey, what buttons are what? What do I need to push to get the XYZ done? But no, it actually started 5 minutes early, and sure enough, so that must have clearly been just like, hey, let's go. I don't know why he was going to stand back there with the iPad adjusting the sound, but then doing it from there as well. I don't understand that aspect of it.
I don't know.
But
I don't remember any of that. So
I just thought that was funny. It made me smile, and
Yeah.
I completely forgot about the. We have one more song. All right, here's the house music.
oh yeah.
Aspect of it.
Yeah. But like you alluded to during this show or this performance that they did, or probably the whole tour, but they had a drum kit as well. So because you said like at House of Blues it was only the two of them. This one they had a drum kit as well, along with the two main guys.
Yeah, I don't know much about their history. I don't know if that's a standard thing, and with sort of the Avatar tour, it's like we need to trim down and like make this as lean as possible. So we're only going to do the two of us, or if it's a new thing they added in. But it was really cool to have a live drummer up there to play the drum and whatnot.
Yeah, I remember as soon as because Korine didn't have like any drums or any beat to it at all, in my opinion. So as soon as the drums started, I was like, yes, like now we got something going.
Yeah. And like you were saying with the Disney thing as well, one of the things I remember from the first show that they did this show was the Master of Puppets cover.
Yeah.
And I do remember searching for that on Spotify when we saw that in 2019 and couldn't find that. So I don't know if it's just like a live thing they do.
Okay. Yeah. I remember them doing Master of Puppets in 2019 as well.
Yeah, those it's a highlight for me because I was like, holy shit, Master of Puppets is fucking awesome. And they did it again here as well. It's always toward the end of the set, so yeah.
Yeah. I forgot what song it is, but there is one track that they have that has recorded vocals on it.
There's a few, actually.
Oh, didn't they only play one?
They may have only played one, but I think they have a few.
I know on Spotify I found a couple.
Okay.
In the past. Like I haven't looked for a long time, but because it's not something I go to listen to.
I listened to it after the show for sure to like get back into it. And like, all right, because I couldn't find the set lists afterwards. It's like, oh, fuck, I can't add both of these bands. I really enjoyed both bands. I want to add them to our playlist. Now that we finally found these right before recording, I'm going to add both bands to our playlist. But I just picked start at the top of the Spotify and went down through, and like a few of those have the vocals. I honestly not a big fan of the vocals. I just want the music.
Just the music, yeah.
I'd be perfectly fine with just the music.
Because in 2019 there was no vocal, or like they didn't have any recorded vocals.
Just the master puppets, I think, and maybe like the intro for the Disney thing and whatnot.
Right. I'm saying that they didn't have any songs with
their own songs with recorded vocals, right? But the same thing here. It was recorded. They weren't actually singing the vocals. There wasn't a singer up there doing it.
Yeah. That's why I said recorded vocals.
Well, I get you. Yeah. I thought you meant like songs recorded with vocals.
No.
Any case, it's been a few weeks since we saw this show. I did have a lot of fun. It was really cool to see this venue in sort of a dimmer light. I'll say dimmer. You'll say it was the same, but it was cool to see it with a different crowd, a different energy in there for sure.
Definitely with different energy because we didn't get punched in the face during the show. I mean, we didn't get punched in the face during Die and Wish, but it came kind of close.
We didn't have that hardcore pit going on.
Yeah.
There was actually a pit during this.
There was a pit.
I forgot all about that. There really wasn't
a
pit all night until the end.
Yeah.
And then they finally started. They did like a circle pit, I think, even.
Yes,
they did. Small, tiny little circle pit for this tiny little room. It was kind of interesting.
I saw like him go up and be like, get going. I do have to say, though, I'm glad that we saw them for the first time at House of Blues, where we could see the stage, see them, that whole thing, and like see their performance and their persona and like all that stuff on the stage. Because I could not see the stage.
You couldn't see anything?
I think 2 songs I could see the guy with the beard. Sorry, I don't know their names, but the bearded guy. I could see him for like maybe 2 songs. And then there was one time where the other guy was playing the guitar and he got up, like he must have got up on an amp or something.
A riser or something.
A riser, yeah. And I could see him for a very short second as well. So we did our research on Wikipedia, and Justin has the beard, and Tony has the little strip of hair.
And according to Wikipedia, John is the drummer.
Oh, okay, yeah,
on drums.
Yeah. And it does list as live member. So.
Oh, is it?
Yeah.
Oh,
so
yeah, live members. Gotcha. Yeah.
Yeah. I wonder when. I mean, it doesn't say on Wikipedia, but I wonder when they did add John, because like we said, like in 2019 there was no drums.
Yeah, there was no.
Unless it just happened to be the show that we saw didn't have drums.
Again, it could be like that entire tour. It could just be that one show. It could be a number of reasons for sure. But it was, again, I really liked this show because they did have the drummer there as well, which is really cool.
I just noticed from their albums. Sorry, now we're doing all our research on Wikipedia as we're recording this. They have quite a few albums, and they're all self-released, starting in 2013 to 2023.
Oh, shit. All right.
That is really, really cool. I guess 2013, 2023 is just a re-release of the first album. But But still, like that's pretty cool to have self-released, so they don't have like a record producer or like a record label.
Just doing it themselves on like Bandcamp. A handful of records do.
Yeah.
Bands do that and whatnot, and it's. I think it's more easily doable nowadays for sure.
Yeah.
To do that, just as long as you get the the capital to produce the
to do
album
it yourself.
And go to the studio and whatnot.
Yeah. I like this also. The genre is darksynth.
Oh,
I like that.
Okay.
Now we need to look up more darksynth bands and see if they all have like the same sound, or if it's like the heavy metal with it that makes it how I enjoy it.
No, but that's a good point, because like I view them as definitely sort of a bridge between metal and techno or EDM, right? So this band is like one that if I have friends that are into EDM that want to get into metal, or vice versa, metal that want to get into EDM, this would be like, hey, check this out as possible, like a possible bridge to get into.
Yeah.
1788L is an EDM guy who has some very heavy songs, I would say, from like an EDM perspective. So like that's the bridge on the opposite, from the EDM side to the metal side. And then there's also that guy we saw, that band we saw in Milwaukee Metal Fest the first year that they returned. They were in the bar stage. It was 2 of them. I think it was a bassist or a guitarist. I can't remember what he played. Maybe guitar or maybe bass. I can't remember. But it was just a guitar player and a guy on a keyboard.
Right. I remember them.
And I fucking loved it. I can't remember who it was though.
Yeah.
I do remember saying during that episode, like, this is fucking awesome. I love this shit.
When you
so
go back and
fucking
listen to
much.
our past episodes, so we can remember. That was the whole reason of recording all of these. It wasn't for a podcast. It was so that we could remember our episodes, and now we don't go back and listen to them.
But that reminded me as well. And to me, again, that's another one of those bands that is, and we'll look it up and probably like post
Yeah,
it
we
on
can put
here
it on
somewhere.
the screen.
But this doesn't help if somebody who's just listening. But they were at Milwaukee Metal
Well,
Fest.
go to YouTube and see what it says on the screen during this time.
Let's look it up real quick.
So again, we did research during the podcast.
But Ghost was the band,
Yes.
that the 2-piece band with like the guitarist and the keyboardist. But I remember like thinking like, all right, this is another one of those bands like Dance with the Dead where it's a bridge between metal and EDM for people who are like wanting to go down that route or explore it. This would be a good sort of introduction into those areas.
Yeah.
So I like Ghost. I love Dance with the Dead. I love both of them because of that reason of like sort of melding these two genres together. I think it's great. And I really enjoyed Dance with the Dead in this show. I thought it was a great show. I don't really have a whole lot more to say about it.
No, I mean, I think we covered it pretty well.
Yeah, I definitely want to see him again. I
Yeah,
have fun.
yeah.
It's a good change up for sure. But yeah, it was a good time.
It'd be kind of fun to see them like at Milwaukee Metal Fest or
Yeah, I
even
could
like
see
Decibel or something like that. Like
Yeah.
as like a earlier band, but like, you know,
Yeah,
just to get that different sound.
Yeah, agreed. 100% agreed. So I don't know. Maybe we'll see them again, but maybe we'll see you out there. But anyway, go check out live music, and hopefully we catch you at the next show.
Yep. Bye.